Your breath, your stance, even your heartbeat reveal whether you are awake or asleep. At 9 p.m., you usually collapse into distraction, replaying losses while the world programs you. Tonight, you reverse the current. You issue a command to your mind, and it obeys. Napoleon Hill heard it from giants. Impress your subconscious at a fixed hour, and it will carve reality to match your word. So at 9, you close your eyes, straighten your spine, and declare, I am the architect of wealth. Opportunity seeks me. Action floods me. Do it nightly, as if heaven listens, and watch doors unbolt and strangers carry your name toward advantage. Begin now. Prosperity is punctual, and it comes to those who keep the appointment. You have been trained to turn off at night. This is a fatal error that keeps millions poor while a few grow rich in their sleep. Listen closely, for what I am about to reveal will either awaken you to prosperity or leave you among the masses who work hard and die broke. The wealthy mind does not shut down at evening. It programs. Prosperity is not luck, it is law. Definite purpose combined with auto-suggestion repeated at the precise hour rewrites your mental code. At 9 p.m., you stop being a passenger on someone else's track. You become the owner of your mental railway. Tonight, everything changes if you have the courage to follow what I teach. For the next hour, I will hand you the exact evening ritual that separates the builders of fortunes from the servers of others. You will learn the 7 movements that transform your subconscious from a sleeping servant into a wealth-creating machine. By movement 6, you will receive the 11 mirror lines that Carnegie himself might have spoken, plus the 3-0-6-0-9-0 day rhythm that turns discipline into destiny. Stay until the end, for that is where I will give you the words that make the invisible visible. Here is your roadmap. Movement 1. We establish definite chief aim at 9 p.m. sharp. Movement 2. We install auto-suggestion directed to prosperity. Movement 3. We conduct daily accounting that measures what matters. Movement 4. We practice visualization and the act of possession. Movement 5. We master strategic silence and prayer. Movement 6. We build tomorrow's plan with 3 critical targets. Movement 7. We create the invisible mastermind and establish rhythm. You will receive the laws, a ritual with exact scripts, metrics, and deadlines for 30, 60, and 90-day transformation. Movement 1. Definite chief. Aim at 9 p.m. sharp. Most men end their day by surrendering their mind to whatever crosses their path. Television chatter, social media noise, random conversations that lead nowhere. They drift into sleep like ships without anchor, and they wake as they slept, without direction. This is why they remain poor. This is why they work 40 years and retire with nothing. They gave away the most powerful hour of their day, the hour when the subconscious receives its deepest instructions. The hour before sleep is sacred. It is the threshold between conscious effort and subconscious creation. What you plant in those final moments of awareness grows through the night. What you fail to plant leaves your mind to wander in circles, creating more of what you already have, more confusion, more struggle, more limitation. Carnegie understood this law. Before he closed his eyes each night, he spoke his definite chief aim with the clarity of a general issuing orders to his army. He did not hope, he did not wish, he commanded. He gave his subconscious a specific target, a clear destination, a definite result to work toward while he slept. And his subconscious, being the faithful servant it is, spent the night hours arranging circumstances, attracting opportunities, and building the bridge between his current condition and his declared aim. This is not wishful thinking. This is practical law. The subconscious mind works 24 hours a day. It never rests. It never stops building. The only question is whether you give it a blueprint or leave it to construct at random. The wealthy give it blueprints every night at the same hour with the same precision. The poor leave it to chance and wonder why their lives remain the same year after year. Your definite chief aim must be written in one clear sentence, not a paragraph, not a list of desires. One sentence that captures the exact result you demand from life. Make it specific. Make it measurable. Make it worthy of your finest efforts. Write it as if it were already accomplished, as if you were simply reporting what has come to pass. Do not write, "I hope to become wealthy." Write, "I am the master of systems that generate $10,000 monthly through value delivered to those who need what I provide." Do not write, "I want to be successful." Write, "I command respect and abundance through my definite service to the advancement of human achievement." Your words must carry the weight of decision, not the lightness of hope. At exactly 9 p.m., you will take your written aim in hand. You will stand before a mirror if possible, though any quiet space where you can speak without interruption will serve. You will read these words aloud with the firmness of a man issuing commands to his own destiny. Your voice must be clear. Your tone must be certain. Your posture must be that of one who speaks law, not one who makes requests. As you speak, feel the words. Do not merely recite them. Feel them as instructions flowing from your conscious mind to your subconscious, as seeds being planted in fertile ground, as commands being received by the most powerful force you possess. Your subconscious does not judge. It does not question. It does not evaluate whether your aim is too large or too small. It simply accepts and begins to work. The men who built empires understood this principle. Ford saw the assembly line in his mind before it existed in his factory. Edison declared his intention to light the world before he had the means to do it. Rockefeller spoke of wealth before he possessed wealth, but he spoke with such conviction that his subconscious had no choice but to create the conditions for his words to become reality. Repeat after me now, and let these words become the foundation of your evening practice. I command wealth through wisdom. I do not wait for freedom. I build it now. My mind serves my definite purpose, and my purpose serves the advancement of all who encounter my value. Say it until your voice carries conviction. Say it until your chest rises with certainty. Say it until you believe it more than you doubt it. Why must this happen at exactly 9 p.m.? Because consistency creates power, because rhythm builds momentum, because the subconscious responds to patterns, and when you establish a pattern, you establish a law. The man who changes his time changes his results. The man who keeps his time keeps his power. Set your alarm. Block your calendar. Treat this appointment with the same respect you would show to a meeting with the most important person in your life. You are that person. There will be voices that tell you this is too simple, too basic, too beneath your intelligence. These are the voices of mediocrity, trying to keep you in its ranks. There will be interruptions, urgent matters that seem to require your attention just as 9 p.m. approaches. These are tests. These are the universe's way of measuring your commitment to your own transformation. Pass the test. Keep the appointment. Honor the law. Movement 2. Auto-suggestion directed. With your target now fixed in place like a star you navigate by, we turn to the language that creates the pathway. Words are not mere sounds. They are creative forces. They are the architects of belief. They are the currency with which you purchase new realities from the invisible realm of thought. The words you repeat to yourself with feeling and conviction become the dominant thoughts that govern your decisions. Your decisions create your conditions. Your conditions create your destiny. This is why the poor remain poor despite their efforts. They carry rich goals but poor language. They declare ambitious aims but whisper them with doubt. They sabotage their finest intentions with casual words that contradict their definite purpose. They say they want wealth while speaking of lack. They claim to desire success while complaining about failure. Their autosuggestion works against them instead of for them. Autosuggestion is the medium through which you may reach and influence your subconscious mind. It is the agency of communication between your conscious desires and your subconscious creative power. But it must be used with precision. It must be backed by belief. It must be repeated with the emotional intensity of absolute conviction. Ford conquered the impossible not because he possessed superior knowledge, but because he repeated the internal order, build it, until his subconscious mind found a way to obey. When his engineers declared the V8 engine impossible, he did not accept their conclusion. He repeated his command. When they returned with failure, he repeated it again. When they protested that it could not be done, he gave the same instruction with greater emphasis. His auto-suggestion was stronger than their doubt. His internal repetition was more persistent than their external resistance. This is the power you must now claim. Every evening after you speak your definite chief aim, you will feed your subconscious mind with 11 specific statements designed to replace old patterns of thought with new patterns of prosperity. These are not wishes. These are not hopes. These are declarations of what is becoming true about you as you speak them. Stand before your mirror. Look directly into your own eyes. See yourself as the person you are commanding yourself to become. Feel the certainty that this person exists within you, waiting only for your recognition and your decision to emerge. Then speak these words with the authority of one who issues orders to his own destiny. I do not wait for freedom. I build it now. Repeat this 3 times, each time with greater conviction than the last. I speak law. I speak belief. 3 times, feeling the power of your own voice. I act as an owner, not as a servant. 3 times, standing straighter with each repetition. I sow understanding and reap gold. 3 times, visualizing the value you create flowing toward you. Each day I act in obedience to my definite purpose. 3 times, feeling your will align with your aim. I command attention through value delivered. 3 times, seeing yourself as magnetic to those who need what you provide. My decisions create prosperity for myself and others. 3 times, feeling the weight of wise choice. I use my mind, not merely my hours. 3 times, distinguishing yourself from those who sell time for money. Facts govern my feelings, and faith governs my facts. 3 times, establishing your hierarchy of truth. Each day I prove who I am by what I do. 3 times, connecting identity to action. Discipline is my destiny, and destiny is my discipline. 3 times, making discipline not a burden but a joy. Do not rush through these words. Do not speak them carelessly. Each statement is a command, traveling from your conscious mind to your subconscious mind. Each repetition strengthens the pathway. Each session builds the belief. After 30 days of this practice, you will notice that your internal dialogue has changed. After 60 days, you will notice that your decisions have changed. After 90 days, you will notice that your conditions have changed. The tongue is the steering wheel of the subconscious, and belief is the engine. What you say to yourself with emotion becomes the instruction that your subconscious follows. If you hesitate in your speech, your subconscious hesitates in its work. If you believe in your words, your subconscious believes in its power to manifest them. If you speak with conviction, your subconscious acts with conviction. There will be nights when these words feel foreign in your mouth, when doubt tries to convince you that you are speaking foolishness to an empty mirror. This is the old self trying to maintain its dominion. This is the old pattern trying to preserve its place. Speak the words anyway. Speak them with greater force. Speak them until the old voice is drowned out by the new one. Speak them until you become what you speak. Why must you look in the mirror as you do this? Because your reflection is your most honest audience. Your reflection cannot pretend to believe what you do not believe. Your reflection cannot fake the conviction you do not possess. When you can speak these words to your own image with unwavering certainty, you have reached the threshold of transformation. When your reflection nods back at you with the confidence of one who knows his power, you have activated the law. Movement 3, daily accounting. Gold follows those who measure. Without accounting, habit dies. Without measurement, improvement becomes impossible. Without record, you drift from your course without knowing when or how you lost your way. The wealthy understand this principle with mathematical precision. They count not only their money but their actions. They measure not only their results but their progress. They track not only their victories but their corrections. Rockefeller prospered because he counted pennies and decisions with equal attention. He knew that small leaks could sink large ships. He knew that unmeasured behavior becomes uncontrolled behavior. He knew that what you cannot measure, you cannot multiply. Every day, he demanded an accounting from himself. Every evening, he reviewed his investments, his choices, his alignment with his definite purpose. This was not paranoia. This was precision. This was the difference between hope and certainty. Most men work hard but work blindly. They put forth effort but never evaluate whether that effort serves their ultimate aim. They mistake motion for progress and busyness for productivity. They measure their worth by their exhaustion rather than their effectiveness. This is why they can work for decades and remain poor. They never develop the habit of holding themselves accountable to their highest purpose. After you complete your autosuggestion practice, you will open what I call the book of the day. This can be a simple notebook, a digital document, or whatever medium allows you to write with speed and clarity, but it must be consistent. It must be the same format, the same location, the same ritual every night. Consistency is the mother of mastery. In your book of the day, you will record 3 gains from today. Not 3 good things that happened to you, but 3 things you accomplished that moved you closer to your definite chief aim. These might be actions you took, decisions you made, connections you established, knowledge you acquired, or habits you practiced. Be specific, be honest, be demanding of yourself. If you struggle to find 3 gains, you have learned something important about how you spent your day. Next, you will record 1 failure from today. Not a disappointment or an inconvenience, but one way in which you fell short of your own standards. One moment when you chose the easier path instead of the right path. One decision that served your comfort instead of your growth. One habit that pulled you backward instead of forward. Do not judge this failure. Simply observe it and record it. Awareness is the beginning of correction. Finally, you will record 1 correction for tomorrow. Based on your failure today, what will you do differently? What habit will you change? What decision will you make with greater wisdom? What action will you take with greater courage? Your correction must be specific, actionable, and within your direct control. Do not write, "I will try harder." Write, "I will block 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. for deep work and will not check messages until after this period is complete." At the bottom of your daily accounting, you will calculate your most important metric, your execution percentage. This is the percentage of your planned actions that you actually completed today. If you plan to take 5 specific actions in service of your definite chief aim, and you completed 4 of them, your execution percentage is 80%. This number does not lie. This number does not flatter. This number reveals the truth about your commitment to your own transformation. Track this percentage every day. Calculate your weekly average every Sunday. Your goal is to maintain an execution percentage above 80% for 30 consecutive days. This is the threshold of habit formation. This is the point at which discipline transforms from effort into identity. Below 80%, you are still struggling with old patterns. Above 80%, you are installing new ones. The power of accounting lies not in perfection, but in awareness. The man who measures his actions cannot deceive himself about his progress. The man who records his failures cannot repeat them unconsciously. The man who tracks his improvements cannot deny his own power to change. The numbers become a mirror more honest than the one you look into during auto-suggestion. Do not make accounting complicated. Do not turn it into an elaborate system that requires more time to maintain than to execute. 3 gains, 1 failure, 1 correction, 1 percentage. 5 minutes of honest evaluation. That is all. But those 5 minutes, repeated every night for 90 days, will give you clarity about your life that most men never achieve in 90 years. Speak this truth as you complete your accounting. I govern myself before I scale the world. Facts rule my feelings, and my feelings serve my facts. Let these words remind you that emotional reactions have their place, But that place is never at the expense of accurate information about your own performance. The wealthy separate themselves from the poor, not by working harder, but by measuring more precisely. They know where their time goes, they know where their money flows, they know which actions produce results and which actions merely produce activity. This knowledge becomes power. This power becomes prosperity. This prosperity becomes the proof of principle properly applied. There will be days when your execution percentage disappoints you. There will be weeks when your gains seem small and your failures seem large. This is not reason to abandon the practice. This is reason to value it more highly. For only through honest measurement can you see the difference between the day you committed to change and the day you actually did. Movement 4. Visualization and the act of possession. The image dominates the material world. What you see clearly and consistently in your mind's eye must eventually appear in your physical reality. This is not mysticism. This is mental law. Your subconscious mind thinks in pictures, not in words. It responds to images more powerfully than to logic. It creates what it can visualize more readily than what it can merely understand. Edison saw his results before he worked to achieve them. The electric light existed in his imagination before it existed in his laboratory. The phonograph played music in his mind before it played music in the world. He was not guessing at outcomes. He was not hoping for breakthroughs. He was visualizing completed achievements and then working backward to discover the methods that would make his visions real. This is the power you must now develop. This is the skill that separates the dreamers from the achievers. Dreamers see what they want occasionally, usually when inspiration strikes or when circumstances seem favorable. Achievers see what they want daily, with systematic precision, regardless of classides, current conditions, or temporary obstacles. They make visualization a discipline, not a hobby. After you complete your daily accounting, you will engage in 5 minutes of directed visualization. This is not daydreaming. This is not idle fantasy. This is purposeful mental rehearsal of your definite chief aim already accomplished. You will see yourself in possession of what you currently seek. You will experience the feeling of having what you now want. You will walk through the specific moments of your victory with such clarity that your subconscious accepts it as memory rather than imagination. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. Allow your mind to release the concerns and details of the day. Then, step into the scene of your success. If your aim involves financial independence, see yourself in the moment when you realize you have achieved it. See the numbers. See the bank statements. See the investments. See the income streams. See the freedom these create. Feel the relief. Feel the gratitude. Feel the quiet confidence of one who has built something lasting. If your aim involves business success, see yourself in the moment of recognition. See your product serving its market. See your customers thanking you for the value you provide. See your team executing your vision. See your competition studying your methods. Feel the satisfaction of creation. Feel the joy of service. Feel the pride of building something worthy of your finest efforts. Make your visualization specific. Generic images produce generic results. Instead of seeing yourself as successful, see yourself completing the specific actions that define success in your field. Instead of feeling wealthy, feel yourself making the specific financial decisions that only wealthy people make. Instead of imagining respect, imagine specific people acknowledging specific achievements you have earned through specific service. Engage all your senses in this mental theater. What do you see in vivid detail? What do you hear in the voices around you? What do you feel in your hands? What do you smell in the environment of your success? What do you taste in the moment of achievement? The more real you make this experience in your imagination, the more real your subconscious believes it to be. The more real your subconscious believes it to be, the more powerfully it works to make it actual. But visualization without action becomes delusion. Seeing without doing becomes escape. Imagining without implementing becomes the refuge of those who fear the work that vision requires. This is why you must immediately follow your 5 minutes of visualization with what I call the act of possession. The act of possession is one small, concrete action that you take today, which demonstrates that you already own what you are visualizing. It is a physical proof of internal belief. It is evidence that you are not merely dreaming, but actively claiming what you see in your mind's eye. If your aim involves building a business, your act of possession might be sending one email to a potential customer, writing one page of your business plan, or making one connection with someone who can advance your purpose. If your aim involves financial independence, your act of possession might be opening an investment account, calculating the exact amount you need to save monthly, or reading one chapter of a book written by someone who has achieved what you seek. The specific action matters less than the principle behind it. You are training your subconscious to see you as someone who does not merely visualize success, but actively pursues it. You are proving to yourself that your vision is not fantasy, but prophecy. You are building the bridge between imagination and manifestation, one deliberate act at a time. Speak this declaration as you complete your act of possession. I act as one who already owns what I seek. I do not wait for permission to claim my inheritance. I do not postpone the behavior of this person I am becoming. Let these words establish the rhythm of taking possession before you have possession, of acting from your future rather than from your past. The wealthy understand that ownership begins in the mind, moves to the behavior, and only then appears in the bank account. They think like owners before they become owners. They act like owners before the world recognizes them as owners. They possess their vision so completely that external circumstances have no choice but to conform to their internal certainty. This is your training ground. This is your laboratory. This is where you learn to command the invisible forces that create visible results. 5 minutes of visualization followed by one act of possession, repeated every night for 90 days. Watch what happens. Watch how your confidence changes. Watch how your decisions change. Watch how your results change. Watch how your life changes. The distance between where you are and where you want to be is measured not in time, but in belief acted upon. Visualization builds the belief. The act of possession proves it. Together, they close the gap between current reality and desired reality faster than any other method known to those who have studied the laws of success. Movement 5, strategic silence and prayer. Silence governs attention. In a world that profits from your distraction, from your scattered focus, from your divided mind, silence becomes an act of rebellion. It is the reclaiming of your mental sovereignty. It is the establishment of your right to think your own thoughts without interruption, to feel your own feelings without commentary, to connect with your own purpose without interference. Prayer aligns that purpose with its source. Not the prayer of begging or pleading, but the prayer of recognition and alignment. The prayer that acknowledges the intelligence behind the laws you are learning to obey. The prayer that connects your individual aim with the universal principles that govern all achievement. The prayer that transforms personal ambition into service to something greater than yourself. King Solomon, when offered anything he desired, asked not for wealth but for understanding. He asked for the wisdom to distinguish between right and wrong, between what serves and what destroys, between what builds and what merely accumulates. The wealth followed because understanding always creates value, and value always attracts wealth. He understood that prayer is not about getting what you want, but about aligning what you want with what serves the highest good. After your visualization and act of possession, you will enter 5 minutes of strategic silence. Turn off every device, close every book, end every conversation. Sit in a comfortable position with your spine straight, your shoulders relaxed, your hands resting naturally. Close your eyes. Begin the 4-7-8 breathing pattern that calms the nervous system and quiets the mental chatter. Breathe in through your nose for a count of 4. Hold that breath for a count of 7. Breathe out through your mouth for a count of 8. Repeat this pattern 4 times. Feel your heart rate slowing. Feel your thoughts settling. Feel your connection to the present moment deepening. This is not emptying your mind, this is cleansing it. This is creating space for what matters most. In this silence, you are not trying to solve problems or plan strategies. You are not reviewing the day or preparing for tomorrow. You are simply being present with your own consciousness, aware of your own awareness, connected to the intelligence that operates through you but is greater than your personal thoughts and desires. This silence serves a practical purpose. Your mind operates on multiple levels simultaneously. The surface level responds to immediate stimuli, urgent demands, and external pressures. The deeper level processes information, makes connections, and generates insights. But the deeper level can only function when the surface level is quiet. Silence gives your deeper intelligence permission to work. The wealthy understand this principle. They schedule time for silence, not as escape from their responsibilities, but as preparation for handling them more effectively. They know that the quality of their decisions improves when their minds are clear. They know that the clarity of their vision increases when the noise decreases. They know that silence is not the absence of productivity, but the foundation of it. After your 4 rounds of 4-7-8 breathing, offer one direct prayer, not a list of requests, but a single petition that aligns your personal ambition with universal service. Speak it silently, but with the same conviction you brought to your auto-suggestion practice. Feel the words not as appeals to an external power, but as recognition of the power that operates through your own consciousness when properly directed. Give me understanding to serve through value today. Feel the request for wisdom rather than wealth, knowing that wisdom creates wealth as naturally as seeds create harvest. I command wealth through wisdom, not manipulation through want. Feel the distinction between earning and taking, between creating value and extracting it. Let my success serve the advancement of all who encounter my work. Feel your individual achievement connected to collective benefit, your personal prosperity tied to universal prosperity. Choose one of these prayers or create your own, but keep it simple, keep it consistent, and keep it focused on understanding rather than getting. The universe responds to alignment more readily than to ambition. It serves those who serve others more generously than those who serve only themselves. Prayer is not about getting God to give you what you want. Prayer is about discovering what God wants to give you and positioning yourself to receive it. The difference is profound. The first approach leads to frustration when your requests are denied. The second approach leads to fulfillment when your service is accepted. End your 5 minutes of silence with these words, spoken silently but with complete conviction. I sow understanding and reap gold. I plant service and harvest abundance. I give value and receive prosperity. Feel these words not as hopes but as descriptions of the natural law that governs all lasting success. Silence and prayer prepare your mind for the planning phase that follows. They clear the mental space that strategy requires. They align your individual will with the universal principles that make strategy effective. They connect your personal purpose with the source of all power, all wisdom, all prosperity. This is not religious ritual. This is practical preparation. This is how you ensure that your evening planning serves not just your immediate desires, but your ultimate destiny. This is how you guarantee that what you build in your mind and manifest in your world contributes to the welfare of all who encounter your work. Movement 6. Tomorrow's plan and 3 critical targets. 3 targets defeat infinite lists. Focus creates ownership of time, while distraction creates slavery to circumstances. The poor plan their days around their interruptions. The wealthy plan their interruptions around their priorities. The poor react to whatever demands their attention. The wealthy demand attention for whatever serves their definite purpose. Charles Schwab learned this principle from Andrew Carnegie and applied it with such precision that he became one of the wealthiest men of his era. He would end each day by writing down the 6 most important tasks for the following day, then arrange them in order of importance. He would begin the next day with the first task and remain with it until completion before moving to the second. He would work through his list in order, never allowing less important activities to distract him from more important ones. But Schwab added one element that most men miss. He would identify one task on his list as a burning bridge task, an action that once taken would eliminate the possibility of retreat. This might be making a phone call that committed him to a course of action, sending a proposal that staked his reputation on a result, or investing money that required him to succeed in order to recover it. The burning bridge task ensured that he could not coast, could not delay, could not drift back into old patterns of thought and behavior. After your silence and prayer, you will create tomorrow's plan using the 3 critical targets method. This is more focused than Schwab's 6 tasks, but incorporates his principle of burning bridges. 3 targets are enough to create significant progress without overwhelming your attention. More than 3 becomes dilution. Less than 3 becomes insufficient momentum. Your first target must advance your definite chief aim directly. This is not a maintenance activity or a routine task. This is something that, when completed, will move you measurably closer to your ultimate goal. Be specific, be measurable, be ruthless in your selectiveness. If it does not serve your definite purpose, it does not belong in your first target position. Your second target must build your capacity to achieve your definite chief aim. This might be learning a skill, making a connection, reading specific material, or practicing a discipline that increases your ability to deliver value in your chosen field. This target focuses on becoming rather than just doing, on building yourself as an instrument of achievement rather than just completing actions. Your third target must eliminate or minimize something that opposes your definite chief aim. This might be ending a commitment that drains your energy, removing a distraction that fragments your attention, or correcting a habit that undermines your progress. Subtraction is often more powerful than addition. Removing obstacles often creates more progress than adding activities. Now you must identify your burning bridge task. This is an action that, once taken, eliminates your ability to retreat from your commitment to change. It might be making a public commitment to your goal, investing money in your development, quitting a job that no longer serves your purpose, or taking any action that raises the stakes of success while lowering the appeal of failure. The burning bridge task must be uncomfortable, but not reckless, challenging, but not impossible. It must require you to operate at a higher level without destroying your ability to operate at all. Choose carefully, but choose. The man who keeps all his options open never becomes powerful in any of them. Write your 3 targets and your burning bridge task in your book of the day. Be specific about what success looks like for each target. Be clear about when each target must be completed. Be honest about what resources each target requires. Then block time in your calendar for each target before you go to sleep. If it is not scheduled, it is not serious. If it is not protected by boundaries, it will be invaded by interruptions. Prepare the resources each target will require. If your first target requires making phone calls, have the numbers ready. If your second target requires reading, have the material selected. If your third target requires ending something, have the conversation planned. Preparation eliminates the friction that stops most people from following through on their best intentions. As you complete your planning, speak this declaration: I use my mind, not merely my hours. One day 3 wins, 1 bridge burned. Tomorrow I prove who I am by what I do. Let these words connect your planning to your identity, your schedule to your character, your targets to your transformation. Most men fail not because their goals are too ambitious, but because their plans are too complicated. They try to change everything at once and end up changing nothing at all. They create elaborate systems that require more energy to maintain than to execute. They plan for perfection and abandon their efforts at the first sign of imperfection. 3 targets, 1 burning bridge, specific outcomes, scheduled time, available resources. That is the complete system. It is simple enough to remember, focused enough to execute, and powerful enough to transform your life if applied consistently for 90 days. The wealthy plan their days with the precision of generals planning battles. They know that victory goes to those who prepare, not to those who hope. They know that time is their most valuable resource, and that wasting time is the only mistake they cannot afford to make. They know that every day is either building their empire or destroying it, and they plan accordingly. This is your time to think like they think, plan like they plan, and execute like they execute. 3 targets and a burning bridge every evening for 90 days. Watch what happens to your results. Watch what happens to your confidence. Watch what happens to your life. Movement 7. Invisible mastermind and establishing rhythm. Internal counsel combined with daily repetition creates a force field around your purpose. Habit becomes the railway that carries you toward your destination without conscious effort for every mile of the journey. The wealthy understand that discipline is not a burden to be endured, but a system to be installed. They know that the man who must rely on willpower alone will eventually exhaust his will, but the man who builds rhythm will be carried forward by momentum even when motivation fails. Lincoln consulted principles above the clamor of popular opinion. When the nation demanded immediate action, he sought lasting wisdom. When critics attacked his methods, he remained firm in his course. When advisors offered conflicting counsel, he withdrew to his inner circle of trusted voices, not all of them living, not all of them present, but all of them aligned with the values that guided his decisions. He created what I call an invisible mastermind, a council of minds that transcended the limitations of geography and even mortality. This is the power you must now establish. This is the final element that transforms your evening ritual from a collection of activities into a complete system of mental transformation. You will assemble your own invisible mastermind. 3 advisors whose wisdom will guide your decisions, whose examples will inspire your actions, whose principles will govern your choices. Your advisors may be living or dead, famous or unknown, personal acquaintances or historical figures. The only requirements are that they represent the qualities you wish to develop, the achievements you wish to attain, or the character you wish to embody. Choose one advisor who represents the business wisdom you need. Choose one who represents the personal character you desire. Choose one who represents the vision and courage required to achieve your definite chief aim. Write their names in your book of the day. Then, write one question you would ask each advisor about tomorrow's challenges, about your current progress, about the decisions you face or the obstacles you encounter. Make your questions specific. Make them relevant to your immediate circumstances. Make them worthy of the wisdom these advisors represent. Then answer each question as you believe your advisor would answer. Do not guess at their responses. Think deeply about their known principles, their demonstrated values, their proven methods of handling similar situations. Let their wisdom flow through your consciousness. Let their strength inform your decisions. Let their example elevate your standards. This is not fantasy. This is practical psychology. Your subconscious mind learns through association. When you consistently associate with the thoughts and principles of successful people, even through imaginative consultation, you begin to think as they think. When you think as they think, you begin to decide as they decide. When you decide as they decide, you begin to act as they act. When you act as they act, you begin to achieve as they achieve. The power of the mastermind principle operates through the harmony of minds directed toward a common purpose. Even when those minds exist only in your imagination, guided by your knowledge of their actual principles and methods, they create a synthetic experience that produces real results. Your brain cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and an actual experience. Your subconscious accepts the counsel of your invisible mastermind as readily as it would accept the counsel of advisors sitting in your living room. Carnegie built his steel empire through the guidance of a mastermind that included living associates and historical figures he had studied. Ford consulted the wisdom of Edison, Burbank, and other great minds of his era, sometimes in person, sometimes through their recorded thoughts, sometimes through imaginative conversation based on his deep study of their methods. They understood that isolation is the enemy of achievement, that the greatest successes are always collaborative efforts, and that collaboration can transcend the boundaries of time and geography. As you conclude your evening mastermind consultation, write one key insight from each advisor. Write one action you will take tomorrow based on their combined wisdom. Write one principle you will apply to your current challenges. This is not mere journaling. This is the capture and application of wisdom that has built empires, transformed industries, and elevated the human condition. Now we turn to rhythm, the invisible force that makes all other forces effective. Rhythm is the heartbeat of success. It is the pattern that transforms scattered efforts into focused power. It is the difference between the man who tries once and the man who succeeds eventually. The universe itself operates by rhythm. The seasons follow rhythm. The tides obey rhythm. Your heart beats in rhythm. Your success must follow the same natural law. You cannot install this evening ritual through sporadic effort. You cannot benefit from these practices through occasional application. You cannot transform your subconscious through irregular repetition. You must establish a rhythm so consistent that it becomes automatic, so natural that it requires no decision, so deeply ingrained that missing it would feel like missing a meal or skipping sleep. Set your alarm for exactly 9 p.m. every evening, not 8:45, not 9:15, exactly 9 p.m. Place your book of the day on your pillow so you encounter it when you prepare for bed. Keep a pen with the book so you need not search for writing materials. Create environmental triggers that make beginning your ritual easier than avoiding it. The first 30 days are installation. During this period, you are building new neural pathways, establishing new patterns, overriding old habits with better ones. Your subconscious will resist change during this period. It will offer excuses, create distractions, generate urgent matters that seem to require your immediate attention just as 9 p.m. approaches. Ignore these resistances. Push through these obstacles. Complete your ritual every night regardless of circumstances, regardless of how you feel, regardless of what else demands your time. The second 30 days are consolidation. During this period, the new patterns begin to feel natural. The resistance decreases. The ritual begins to feel like part of your identity rather than something you are forcing yourself to do. Your subconscious begins to accept the new programming and starts to produce results that align with your evening declarations and visualizations. The final 30 days are transformation. During this period, you become the person your ritual has been programming you to become. Your decisions align with your declarations. Your actions support your aims. Your results reflect your internal changes. You no longer need to force yourself to think prosperously because prosperous thinking has become your default mode. Track your consistency in your book of the day. Mark each evening when you complete your full ritual. Calculate your weekly consistency percentage. Your goal is to achieve 100% consistency for 30 consecutive days, then maintain at least 90% consistency thereafter. Below 90% consistency, the rhythm breaks and you must rebuild momentum. Above 90% consistency, the rhythm carries you forward with increasing power. Audit your progress every Sunday evening. Review your weekly execution percentages from your daily accounting. Review your consistency with your evening ritual. Review your progress toward your definite chief aim. Adjust your methods based on results, but never adjust your commitment. Methods can be improved, but commitment must be absolute. Speak this declaration as you establish your rhythm. Each day, I prove who I am by what I do. Discipline is my destiny, and rhythm is my railway to prosperity. I do not negotiate with excellence. I do not bargain with my own transformation. Let these words establish the non-negotiable nature of your commitment to your own advancement. The wealthy separate themselves from the poor through superior rhythm, not superior talent. They do the right things consistently, while others do the right things occasionally. They maintain their focus while others are distracted by circumstances. They honor their commitments to themselves while others break their promises at the first sign of inconvenience. This is your opportunity to join their ranks. This is your chance to install the rhythm that creates results. This is your invitation to become the person who does what he says he will do when he says he will do it, regardless of how he feels about doing it. 90 days of rhythm, 90 evenings of ritual, 90 opportunities to prove to yourself and to the universe that you are serious about your own transformation. The ritual in complete practice. Now I will guide you through the complete ritual as you would experience it each evening at exactly 9 p.m. This is not merely instruction. This is immersion. This is your opportunity to feel the power of the complete system working as one integrated force for your advancement. You are seated at a clean desk or table. Your phone is in Do Not Disturb mode. Your book of the day is open. Your pen is in your hand. The environment is quiet. The lighting is sufficient. Your posture is alert but relaxed. You are ready to command your subconscious mind to work in your service while you sleep. Begin with your definite chief aim. Stand if possible. Speak aloud with clarity and conviction. I am the master of systems that generate wealth through value delivered to those who seek advancement. I command respect and abundance through my definite service to human achievement. I do not wait for freedom. I build it now. Feel these words as commands flowing from your conscious mind to your subconscious mind. Feel them as seeds being planted in fertile ground. Feel them as instructions being received by the most powerful creative force you possess. Your voice must carry conviction. Your posture must demonstrate certainty. Your entire being must align with the truth you are declaring. Move to your mirror for autosuggestion directed. Look directly into your own eyes. See yourself as the person these words describe. Feel the reality of this identity emerging through your declaration. I do not wait for freedom. I build it now. 3 times with increasing conviction. I speak law. I speak belief. 3 times, feeling the authority of your own voice. I act as an owner, not as a servant. 3 times, standing straighter with each repetition. I sow understanding and reap gold. 3 times, seeing value flowing toward you. Each day I act in obedience to my definite purpose. 3 times, aligning will with aim. I command attention through value delivered. 3 times, feeling your magnetic power. My decisions create prosperity for myself and others. 3 times, sensing wise choice. I use my mind, not merely my hours. 3 times, distinguishing yourself from time sellers. Facts govern my feelings, and faith governs my facts. 3 times, establishing truth hierarchy. Each day I prove who I am by what I do. 3 times, connecting identity to action. Discipline is my destiny, and destiny is my discipline. 3 times, embracing discipline as joy. Return to your book of the day for daily accounting. Write 3 specific gains from today that advanced your definite chief aim. Write 1 specific failure that held you back. Write 1 specific correction you will implement tomorrow. Calculate your execution percentage for planned actions completed today. Now engage in visualization and the act of possession. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. Step into the scene of your success already achieved. See the specific details. Feel the emotions. Experience the satisfaction. Engage all your senses in this mental rehearsal of victory. Make it so real that your subconscious accepts it as memory rather than imagination. Open your eyes. Take your act of possession. Send 1 email that moves you closer to your aim. Make 1 phone call that advances your purpose. Write 1 page that builds your plan. Take 1 small, concrete action that demonstrates your ownership of what you are visualizing. Enter strategic silence and prayer. Close your eyes again. Begin the 4-7-8 breathing pattern. In for 4, hold for 7, out for 8. 4 complete cycles. Feel your mind quieting. Feel your connection to deeper intelligence strengthening. Feel your individual purpose aligning with universal principle. Offer your prayer silently, but with conviction. Give me understanding to serve through value today. I command wealth through wisdom, not manipulation through want. Let my success serve the advancement of all who encounter my work. Create tomorrow's plan in 3 critical targets. Write your first target that directly advances your definite chief aim. Write your second target that builds your capacity for achievement. Write your third target that eliminates opposition to your progress. Identify your burning bridge task that eliminates retreat. Block time for each target in tomorrow's calendar. Conclude with your invisible mastermind consultation. Write one question for each of your 3 advisors. Answer each question as they would answer based on their known principles and proven methods. Write one key insight from each advisor. Write one action you will take tomorrow based on their combined wisdom. As you close your book of the day, speak this final declaration: I govern myself before I scale the world. Each day, I prove who I am by what I do. My mind serves my purpose, and my purpose serves the advancement of all who encounter my value. I sleep programmed for prosperity and wake directed toward achievement. The ritual is complete. Your subconscious has received its instructions. Your evening's work is finished. But your night's work is just beginning. While you sleep, your subconscious will process these commands, arrange these priorities, and create the conditions for tomorrow's advancement. 30 days of this practice will install new patterns of thought. 60 days will establish new standards of behavior. 90 days will create a new identity that naturally produces the results you currently seek through effort. This is not theory. This is not hope. This is law applied through method, producing results through rhythm. But before we continue to the final movement, let me address the obstacles you will face and the objections your old self will raise. I don't have time for this. You have time for whatever you prioritize. You have time for television, for social media, for conversations that lead nowhere, and activities that produce nothing. The ritual requires 45 minutes. The average person spends more time than that deciding what to watch on Netflix. You do not lack time. You lack commitment to your own advancement. This seems too simple to work. Simple does not mean easy. Simple means focused. The most powerful forces in nature are simple. Gravity is simple. Compound interest is simple. The law of sowing and reaping is simple. Complexity is often the enemy of execution. Simplicity is the friend of consistency. And consistency is the mother of results. I need support from others to succeed. Then create your invisible mastermind. Surround yourself with the thoughts and principles of those who have achieved what you seek. If living supporters are not available, dead ones will serve. If personal mentors are not accessible, their books and recorded wisdom will suffice. You have access to more guidance than any generation in human history. Use it. What if I miss a night? Begin again the next night. Do not use one failure as an excuse for complete abandonment. Do not let perfectionism become the enemy of progress. The goal is consistency over time, not perfection in every moment. 90% consistency over 90 days will transform your life more than 100% consistency over 9 days followed by complete abandonment. How do I know this will work for me? You do not know until you commit to finding out. Knowledge comes through experience, not through analysis. The principles behind this ritual have produced every fortune, built every empire, created every advancement in human history. They worked for Carnegie, Edison, Ford, Lincoln, and thousands of others whose names are recorded in the halls of achievement. They will work for you if you work them. I've tried things like this before and failed. Then you stopped before the rhythm was established. You quit during the installation phase, before reaching the transformation phase. You treated the practice as an experiment rather than as a commitment. This time, commit to 90 days, regardless of immediate results. Trust the process. Follow the system. Let rhythm do what rhythm does. These objections will arise. These excuses will appear. These doubts will whisper. But they are not your voice. They are the voice of your old self trying to maintain its dominion. They are the sound of old patterns resisting new ones. They are the death cry of limitations that have kept you small and poor and frustrated. Listen to them, acknowledge them, then choose to act in spite of them. For on the other side of these objections lies the life you were born to live, the success you were designed to achieve, the prosperity that is your natural inheritance when you align with the laws that govern all achievement. Movement 6 has given you the complete system. Movement 7 has shown you how to establish rhythm. Now we turn to the final movement, where you will receive the 11 lines of the mirror that embed these principles so deeply in your consciousness that they become automatic responses to every situation you encounter. The 11 lines of the mirror. Now I give you the 11 lines that will program your subconscious for prosperity with the precision of a master craftsman installing the foundation of a cathedral. These are not affirmations to be spoken casually. These are not wishes to be whispered hopefully. These are commands to be declared with the authority of one who speaks law into existence. Stand before your mirror each evening during your auto-suggestion practice. Look directly into your own eyes. See not the person you have been, but the person you are commanding yourself to become. Speak each line 3 times with increasing conviction. Feel each word as an instruction traveling from your conscious mind to your subconscious mind. Feel each repetition strengthening the tension, neural pathway that connects thought to reality. The first line establishes your relationship with freedom. I do not wait for freedom. I build it now. This line breaks the pattern of postponement that keeps millions poor. This line rejects the retirement lie that tells you to sacrifice today for a tomorrow that may never come. This line declares that your freedom begins with your next decision, not with your next paycheck. The second line establishes your relationship with truth. I speak law. I speak belief. This line recognizes that your words are creative forces, not mere sounds. This line commits you to speaking only what builds your aim, never what contradicts it. This line makes your tongue the servant of your purpose rather than the enemy of your progress. The third line establishes your relationship with ownership. I act as an owner, not as a servant. This line separates you from the masses who trade their lives for wages. This line connects you to the principle that ownership is a mindset before it is a bank balance. This line commands you to think, speak, and move like one who owns his destiny rather than one who rents his time. The fourth line establishes your relationship with value. I sow understanding and reap gold. This line connects your prosperity to your service. This line ensures that your wealth comes through contribution rather than extraction. This line aligns your personal advancement with universal advancement. The fifth line establishes your relationship with consistency. Each day I act in obedience to my definite purpose. This line makes every day a building block rather than just another day. This line connects your daily actions to your ultimate aim. This line transforms routine into ritual, habit into momentum. The sixth line establishes your relationship with influence. I command attention through value delivered. This line makes you magnetic to those who need what you provide. This line ensures that your influence grows through service rather than manipulation. This line makes your presence a gift rather than a demand. The seventh line establishes your relationship with decision. My decisions create prosperity for myself and others. This line makes every choice a vote for the future you want to create. This line ensures that your success serves others while serving yourself. This line connects individual prosperity to collective prosperity. The eighth line establishes your relationship with time. I use my mind, not merely my hours. This line separates you from hourly workers who sell time for money. This line connects you to system builders who create assets that work without them. This line transforms you from a seller of effort to an owner of results. The ninth line establishes your relationship with truth. Facts govern my feelings, and faith governs my facts. This line prevents emotions from distorting reality, while allowing faith to transform reality. This line makes you responsive to truth rather than reactive to circumstances. This line establishes the hierarchy that creates lasting success. The 10th line establishes your relationship with identity. Each day I prove who I am by what I do. This line connects your character to your actions. This line makes consistency the measure of authenticity. This line ensures that your behavior matches your beliefs rather than contradicting them. The 11th line establishes your relationship with destiny. Discipline is my destiny, and destiny is my discipline. This line makes discipline not a burden but a joy. This line connects your daily practices to your ultimate purpose. This line transforms self-control from sacrifice into self-expression. These 11 lines, spoken 3 times each, 33 declarations total, every evening for 90 days, will rewire your mental circuitry for prosperity. They will replace the programming that keeps millions poor with the programming that makes thousands rich. They will install in your subconscious mind the same patterns of thought that built every fortune and created every empire in human history. But remember, these lines gain power through repetition, not through understanding. Your subconscious does not need to comprehend their meaning. It needs to receive their instruction. Speak them with conviction, whether you feel convinced or not. Speak them with certainty, whether you feel certain or not. Speak them with authority, whether you feel authorized or not. The feeling will follow the speaking, not precede it. There will be evenings when these words feel foreign in your mouth, when doubt tries to convince you that you are speaking foolishness to an empty mirror. This is the old programming trying to maintain its dominion. This is the old self trying to preserve its limitations. Speak the words anyway. Speak them with greater force. Speak them until the old voice is silenced by the new one. There will be mornings when you wake and wonder if the previous evening's ritual accomplished anything, when you see no immediate evidence of transformation, when your circumstances appear unchanged despite your declarations. This is the test of faith, the measure of commitment, the proof of your decision to trust the process rather than demand immediate results. Continue the practice. Trust the law. Let rhythm do its work. The 30, 60, 90-day transformation follows a predictable pattern that has been observed in thousands of cases over decades of study. Days 1 through 30 are installation. During this period, you are building new neural pathways, establishing new patterns, creating new connections between thought and behavior. The old patterns will resist. The old habits will reassert themselves. The old voice will offer reasons to quit. Push through this resistance. Complete your ritual every evening regardless of how you feel, regardless of what else demands your time, regardless of whether you see immediate results. Days 31 through 60 are consolidation. During this period, the new patterns begin to feel natural. The resistance decreases. The ritual begins to feel like part of your identity rather than something you are forcing yourself to do. Your thoughts begin to align with your declarations. Your decisions begin to support your aims. Your actions begin to produce results that match your internal changes. Days 61 through 90 are transformation. During this period, you become the person your ritual has been programming you to become. Your prosperity becomes as natural as your breathing. Your success becomes as inevitable as sunrise. Your influence becomes as magnetic as gravity. You no longer need to force yourself to think prosperously because prosperous thinking has become your default mode. This is not theory. This is not philosophy. This is documented law applied through proven method. The same principles that built Carnegie's steel empire, Ford's automotive revolution, and Edison's electrical transformation are now in your hands. The same practices that elevated Lincoln from poverty to the presidency, that raised Roosevelt from illness to leadership, that transformed countless individuals from servants to masters, are now your daily discipline. The question is not whether these principles work. The question is whether you will work them. The question is not whether this ritual has power. The question is whether you will submit to its requirements long enough for that power to manifest in your life. The question is not whether prosperity is available to you. The question is whether you are willing to do what prosperity requires. Most people want the results of discipline without the practice of discipline. They want the benefits of consistency without the commitment to rhythm. They want the rewards of faith without the risk of believing. They want to change their lives without changing their habits. They want to transform their circumstances without transforming themselves. But you are not most people. You would not have listened this far if you were content with ordinary results. You would not have absorbed these principles if you were satisfied with average achievement. You would not have learned this ritual if you were willing to accept a life of limitation. You are here because something within you knows that you were born for more than you have yet achieved. You are here because you recognize that your current conditions do not represent your ultimate possibilities. The ritual I have given you is your bridge from where you are to where you were meant to be. It is your method of transformation, your system of advancement, your pathway to prosperity. It requires no special talent, no unusual intelligence, no extraordinary circumstances. It requires only commitment, consistency, and the courage to continue when immediate results are not visible. Tonight at 9 p.m., you will begin. You will set your alarm. You will prepare your book of the day. You will position your mirror. You will create the environment that supports your transformation. You will speak your definite chief aim with conviction. You will declare your 11 lines with authority. You will complete your daily accounting with honesty. You will engage in visualization with clarity. You will take your act of possession with courage. You will enter silence with reverence. You will create your plan with precision. You will consult your mastermind with wisdom. Tomorrow morning you will wake as the person who did what he said he would do, when he said he would do it, regardless of how he felt about doing it. You will wake as the person who honored his commitment to his own advancement. You will wake as the person who chose discipline over drift, consistency over comfort, growth over stagnation. This is not a small thing. This is the beginning of everything. This is the first day of the rest of your life. This is the moment when you stop being a victim of circumstances and start being the creator of them. This is when you stop working for money and start making money work for you. This is when you stop serving others' dreams and start building your own. Closing movement, the sacred commitment. I stand at the threshold of my own transformation, ready to cross the bridge from limitation to abundance, from service to ownership, from hope to certainty. I recognize that this moment is the pivot point upon which my entire future turns. I acknowledge that what I decide now and what I commit to now will determine whether I join the ranks of the prosperous or remain among the struggling. I, speaking my own name with authority, do solemnly swear before the mirror of truth and in the presence of my highest self that I will execute this evening ritual for 90 consecutive days without excuse, without exception, without compromise. I swear that I will speak my 11 lines with conviction whether I feel convinced or not. I swear that I will complete my daily accounting with honesty, whether the truth is comfortable or not. I swear that I will maintain my rhythm with consistency, whether circumstances support me or challenge me. I swear that I will not negotiate with excellence. I will not bargain with my own advancement. I will not allow temporary inconvenience to prevent permanent improvement. I will not let the opinions of others override my commitment to myself. I will not permit the resistance of old patterns to defeat the installation of new ones. I swear that at exactly 9 p.m. each evening, I will honor this appointment with my own destiny. I will treat this commitment with the same seriousness I would show to a meeting with the most important person in my life, recognizing that I am that person. I will protect this time from all interruptions, all distractions, all competing demands, understanding that this hour is the foundation upon which my entire transformation rests. I swear that I will measure my progress honestly, track my consistency accurately, and audit my results regularly. I will celebrate my advances without becoming complacent. I will acknowledge my setbacks without becoming discouraged. I will use both success and failure as information that guides my adjustments and strengthens my resolve. I swear that I will surround myself with influences that support my transformation and distance myself from influences that undermine it. I will choose my associations carefully, my entertainment wisely, my conversations purposefully. I will feed my mind only what serves my aim and starve it of everything that opposes my progress. I swear that I will act from my future rather than from my past. I will make decisions based on the person I am becoming rather than the person I have been. I will speak with the authority of my intended identity rather than the uncertainty of my current circumstances. I will move with the confidence of inevitable success rather than the fear of possible failure. This is my sacred commitment to myself, witnessed by my own consciousness, recorded in the invisible ledger of character, sealed with the authority of decision backed by action. I do not make this commitment lightly, and I will not abandon it easily. I understand that my word to myself is the foundation of all other achievements, and I give my word now without reservation. Let this commitment be tested by time and proven by results. Let this decision be strengthened by repetition and validated by transformation. Let this oath be honored in action and fulfilled in achievement. I am no longer the person who wishes for change. I am now the person who creates it. I am no longer the person who hopes for prosperity. I am now the person who builds it. I am no longer the person who waits for freedom. I am now the person who constructs it. The final command: you have received the complete system. You have learned the eternal laws. You have been given the exact method that has created every fortune and built every empire in human history. You have been handed the keys to the kingdom of prosperity, the blueprint for transformation, the roadmap from limitation to abundance. But knowledge without application is worthless. Understanding without implementation is waste. Instruction without execution is merely entertainment. The value of everything I have shared lies not in your comprehension, but in your commitment. The power of these principles manifests not through your agreement, but through your action. Tonight, not tomorrow, not next week, not when circumstances are more favorable. Tonight, at exactly 9 p.m., you will begin. You will set your alarm for 9 p.m. every evening for the next 90 days. You will prepare your book of the day and place it where you will encounter it. You will identify the mirror you will use for your auto-suggestion practice. You will create the environment that supports your success. You will write your definite chief aim in one clear, specific, measurable sentence. You will memorize your 11 lines so that you can speak them with conviction rather than reading them with hesitation. You will identify your 3 mastermind advisors and prepare your first questions for their counsel. You will block tomorrow's calendar to protect the time your 3 critical targets require. This is not a suggestion. This is a command. This is not advice you may consider. This is instruction you must follow. This is not an option among many. This is the choice that changes everything. Your future prosperity depends not on your perfect understanding of these principles, but on your imperfect but persistent application of them. The wealthy became wealthy not because they understood more, but because they applied more. They became successful not because they were born different, but because they chose differently. They achieved greatness not because greatness was given to them, but because they demanded it from themselves through daily discipline applied over extended time. You now possess the same knowledge they possessed. You now have access to the same principles they followed. You now hold the same power they wielded. The only remaining question is whether you will use what you have been given or waste it through hesitation, procrastination, and the comfortable delay that has kept millions poor while thousands grew rich. I have done my part. I have revealed the secrets. I have shared the system. I have given you the method. Now you must do yours. You must decide. You must commit. You must begin. You must continue. You must persist until rhythm replaces resistance, until habit replaces effort, until prosperity replaces poverty. The choice is yours, but it must be made now. The time for preparation has ended. The hour of implementation has arrived. The moment of decision has come. What will you choose? Will you join the ranks of those who know but do not apply, who understand but do not implement, who possess the blueprint but never build the building? Or will you become the person who does what he says he will do, when he says he will do it, regardless of how he feels about doing it? Will you become the person who honors his commitments to himself as sacred obligations? Will you become the person who transforms knowledge into action, understanding into achievement, possibility into reality? The answer lies not in your words, but in your actions. not in your intentions, but in your implementations, not in your promises, but in your performance. Tonight at 9 p.m., you will give your answer through your choice. You will demonstrate your commitment through your behavior. You will prove your character through your consistency. Set the alarm now. Prepare the materials now. Make the commitment now. Begin tonight. Continue tomorrow. Persist for 90 days. Transform your life forever. The railway to prosperity begins with a single step taken at the exact right time in the precise right manner with the complete right attitude. That time is 9 p.m. tonight. That manner is this ritual executed completely. That attitude is the certainty that your transformation is not only possible but inevitable when you align your actions with the laws that govern all achievement. I am not a prisoner of hours. I am an owner of systems. I speak law, act in obedience, and sleep programmed for the gold that follows understanding. Tonight at 9 p.m., without delay, without excuse, without exception, I execute my first complete ritual and mark my first step on the pathway to prosperity. This is my commitment. This is my decision. This is my beginning.